My name is Jos Pouортvliet, Marketing Director at Nextcloud, and I want to walk through Nextcloud Hub, give a bit of an overview of the solution, the different things it can do. We'll go over the product itself. We'll go then over our offering for enterprises, talk a bit about key capabilities, and I'll see if I can still squeeze in a little bit of time to talk about Nextcloud GmbH at the end. I will probably talk quickly. I hope that will work. Ask in the chat if you have questions. I will then try to address them in the last couple of minutes. So, talking about collaboration, Frank already talked a little bit about this in his opening keynote. Collaboration has evolved from internal file sharing to sharing across the borders of organizations. And these days, collaboration is really enhanced. You really work in the collaboration tools rather than just use them to exchange files. So people expect commenting on files, they expect real-time document editing, they expect text and video chat, they expect email, Groupware features. And these are all capabilities Nextcloud integrates in a single platform, as well as much more. Things like filling in forms and dozens other functionalities. And so it's a complete platform for collaboration. It's not just a file sync and share. That's what we're building here. Now, going over each of the individual pieces, I try to keep it short. Nextcloud Files is kind of a known entity. It's the thing that Dropbox and Box, for example, do. Make data available everywhere. Make it available within the organization. You can easily share with colleagues from your mobile phone or your tablet or from the web interface, or even from your email client integration. And your colleagues can also share with you, but also outside of the organization to external parties. Either you create a guest account for them, or you share a public link for a one-time share. Now, Nextcloud is designed to integrate all the different storage silos in an organization into Nextcloud. So if you have a SharePoint, if you have a Windows network drive, if you have an FTP drive or network storage, all these things can be hooked into Nextcloud. So you can suddenly share files from SharePoint with an external partner by a public link and by giving, a password on top of it as well. So Nextcloud really forms a layer across all these different storage platforms that you have in an organization and make all the files then available for collaborative document editing, for comment, for easy search, etc. I want to show a few screenshots, just a few. Here's the first one. So this is, you can choose to see a list or to see icons like we did here. And there are a few things I want you to note. So one is that Nextcloud is a real-time collaboration platform. That is, on the top right, you see there's a notification. You will get these notifications on your phone, on your desktop, and in your browser. And they're real-time notifications. So if somebody gives a comment on a file or shares a file, you will immediately see it. And not, a minute or 10 minutes later. Second, you can edit documents in real time. So if you're working on an Office document, then other people can join and you'll all be editing it at the same time. You can also chat and do comments and other things when you're editing documents in real time. And the other thing I want to note is that Nextcloud is smart. It tries to help you. So you see, for example, just below the top there, I think you can probably see my mouse. Here you see a list of files that Nextcloud thinks are relevant to you. So files that were recently edited by somebody or that somebody commented on, or files that were recently shared with you. And Nextcloud will put these on top so that you can quickly say, okay, yes, that's what I wanted to see. Click done. You can go to that file. We also recommend files or people to share with. We will automatically detect suspicious logins, show the results from all apps in a search. So like there's a search icon on top. And this will not just show you files, it will also show you chat messages, emails, tasks, and other things. Now the second screenshot I want to show is this one. It's a little bit busy, but let me again point to a few things. So Nextcloud Hub is about context, giving context to the files. Here you can see the share links. You can give them names. You can also add a note to a shared link so that the recipient gets a note to see. On the folder itself, you see there's this text on top. You can click here and then you will see more. I will show this in the demo later today as well. So you can give context to a folder, put notes there, put to-do lists there, etc. So that your colleagues who see the folder can see what it is about, what the point of it is. There's also here a request approval button, so you can automate workflows in Nextcloud, make it easy to ask for approval on something, and then your boss can say, yes, it's approved or not. And there are other workflows you can automate in Nextcloud, so to keep things efficient. So that's quickly about Nextcloud Files. Now, Nextcloud Talk is, well, the standard, audio, video chat and text chat, web and mobile clients. It's integrated in files, so you can share a file directly into a chat room. When in a chat room, you can edit the file with everybody who's in the room. You can have group calls, private calls, individual. It's like Slack, but deeply integrated in Nextcloud. And again, I have a few screenshots. This is when you're in a video call with a group of people. You can even have guests. You can send a public link to somebody. They can then join the call. They don't need an account. And they will be able to just participate like other people. It's integrated, as I mentioned. So, for example, you can turn a chat message into a task or share a task in a chat room. You can share files directly in the chat room or open the documents from there. You can chat while you're editing a document in the Documents app, etc. So these things are really closely related and brought together. And then there's Groupware. So it's the basics: mail, calendar, task management, based on standards, QualDAV, CardDAV, etc. And it's, again, integration is a key point. So as you can see here, I'm creating a calendar invitation and then can click on one button and then it will create a talk room for the event and then send that in invitation so the attendees can join the call from there, for example. And here you can see in the mail app that I can import a trip, my itinerary, directly into the calendar and add it, to the work calendar or my personal calendar, etc. You can also create a to-do item from an email in our task management. So here is Kanban board, our task management app deck. And there you see you can attach files. You can do that directly from the Files app. Just type the name of, just say like I want to attach it to a card. Then you choose the board and then the task, and then it gets added here. You can share them into a chat room or create, as I said, an email message and put it into a task. See it in the calendars, etc. So what Nextcloud for a lot of companies is that it is a platform that they can use to consolidate a lot of the tools. Nextcloud can, of course, not replace every single application that you have. A lot of customers use it next to other tools like Google Drive or Microsoft software. But for other customers, it can help them reduce all these different tools that they have. They use Google Forms and have data in there. They use Dropbox, they use Alfresco, they use Wunderlist, they use PandaDoc, they use Discord, they use, you can bring a lot of these things into a single platform and in a single place where you don't lose track over how many online subscriptions you're paying for that might not even be used anymore. Passwords getting lost in a hack. You're constantly running after all these different SaaS platforms that you're using as a sysadmin. And Nextcloud can help you consolidate that a little bit and bring it all in one or a lot less places than you're currently using. So this is a key point for many of our customers. So let's talk shortly about Nextcloud in the enterprise. I have only 5 more minutes left. I hope this will work. So what we offer for enterprises is, well, the things an enterprise needs. And the first is, of course, stability. So Nextcloud Enterprise is on a slower release cycle as Nextcloud Community. You get additional testing and quality assurance. You get critical bug fixes and hot fixes earlier than everybody else. We help you with upgrades. And of course, if there's a problem, we fix it. Most of the people who know the core of Nextcloud, they work for us. They know how to fix it. And you also get long-term support. For the free version of Nextcloud, the Community Edition, there's only 1 year of updates. After that, security, stability updates are no longer made public. But our customers can stay up on Nextcloud for up to 5 years or even longer if they need to. So you get access to our expertise. We help you onboard. We help you migrate. You get access to our documentation. We can help you with scaling, security, best practices, and we help you with security. If there's a problem in Nextcloud, a security issue, you will know it first before everybody else. You will have a patched version of Nextcloud before the community version gets updated, and so on. So you can make sure that your data is safe and secure. We can also help you with custom integration, with branding, with some extra add-ons from Collabora, Kaspersky, Outlook integration, these things. And of course, as a customer, we care about your needs, and we will make sure that Nextcloud is ready for you. So if there are certain capabilities you need, we can deliver those to you uniquely. Last but not least, a big benefit, of course, of Nextcloud Enterprise is compliance. We can help you make sure that you are compliant with the GDPR. The GDPR requires, for example, certain security protections, certain data export, cancellation of accounts, these things. We can help you with that. So you get access to our expertise and our documentation for compliance in healthcare and other government areas. And this is, in principle, not really available for the community edition as well. So if you want to set up a GDPR or other compliant setup, HIPAA compliant or something else, you should get Nextcloud Enterprise. This is actually checked for these compliance things. A few key capabilities I want to go over. I'll try and do this quick, but Nextcloud is an on-premise solution. This means you can run it either on your own in your own data center, or at one of your IT service providers, or at one of our partners. And this means that the data and the metadata stay with you. Because even with end-to-end encryption, as you see in some other products, you still have the metadata that leaks. Who talks to who shared files with who, even if the content is end-to-end encrypted. There is still a lot of information leaking to a third party that can be used in all kinds of ways. And Nextcloud gives you that knowledge, that data, and it puts it under your control. So you know who did what, when, and how, and nobody else does. You control the sharing, you can put in certain limitations, have advanced permission system features like watermarking, data retention, remote wipe, etc. So you're in control, and this is, of course, the key benefit you get. This extends to security. Nextcloud has a lot of security capabilities. Of course, it has the authentication like LDAP, SAML, two-factor authentication, etc. And you can use multiple of these. You can use SAML and your LDAP system, as well as native accounts in Nextcloud. You can use these in parallel. It has a lot of security capabilities like brute force protection, etc. I already mentioned many of these. And you can check these things out if you want. We have very powerful encryption, server-side and client-side, so fully end-to-end encrypted data storage is possible with Nextcloud. Of course, end-to-end encryption means a lot of limitations. You cannot access end-to-end encrypted content from a web browser, because then it's no longer end-to-end encrypted. Nextcloud offers this therefore as an option, but not as a default. But for extremely sensitive data, this can really help. Even if you don't trust the system administrators, with the end-to-end encryption, you can guarantee that even if somebody hacks the Nextcloud server and manages to break into your infrastructure, there's nothing they can do. They cannot do any data damage. They cannot access the data, etc. And of course, there's a compliance, as I already mentioned, that we can offer to you as a customer. Now for scaling, as Frank already mentioned, there are tens of millions of users at some of our larger customers. So if you need a deployment with 5 million users, 10 million users, we've done this before multiple times. This is something we can help you with. It's not easy. It requires a special setup of Nextcloud called Global Scale, which distributes the data between multiple servers and even multiple data centers. And this also helps you keep data local. So if you, for example, have a business in Hong Kong, a business in New York, and a business in Moscow, you can keep the data from each of these businesses local, but employees from each of the businesses or the subsidiaries can still collaborate and share data between them, but the data stays local. So if you from the Moscow office are editing a document from Hong Kong, the data stays in Hong Kong. You are editing it remote, but the data stays in Hong Kong. And if the policy in Hong Kong blocks access to the data, then you will not be able to access it. And you can very precisely control in this way the data locality with Nextcloud. And of course, one of the biggest advantages of Nextcloud over a lot of our competitors is the big ecosystem. There are lots of applications available, hundreds, with additional functionality, adding extra storage solutions, extra authentication, and other functionalities with Nextcloud. So it's a very extensive platform in that regard. Now, I will skip the changes that we did in the last couple of releases. Nextcloud 23 is coming soon, though. As a company, we're a German company. Wow, this slide does not look great. Sorry for that. We follow the Red Hat business model, so we are a organically growing company. The employee numbers are old. We're at almost double that already. Same for the customers. And there are hundreds of thousands of Nextcloud servers and tens of millions, maybe even 100 million users by now. It's hard to keep track because, of course, our products are all 100% open source. So there are a lot of companies and individual small companies, especially, that are using Nextcloud without working with us, which is fine. We think that for a 50-user Nextcloud installation, our product doesn't really need us. For 500 users, if you really use it with critical data, you want the security, the stability, the reliability that we offer. Otherwise, your costs are actually going to be higher than not paying us, right? You get a significant risk at that point. And that's where, well, our services, of course, come in. We have about 700 customers, direct customers now. Through our partners, we have thousands of customers. Apologies for the barking dog. But there are some of our high-profile customers. All in all, summary, I think I should go to questions if there are any. Are there any questions? I'm looking at the chat now. Please ask your questions. I have 2 more minutes or 1 more minute until the next session. All right. Then thank you. How fast the ecosystem is growing. So the installed base of Nextcloud is growing by about 50% per year. So very fast. Our customers are roughly double every year. Developing apps is, it's quite easy. I mean, we're building on PHP, which is, of course, a language. It's the biggest language on the internet. So it's very easy to find developers who can build an app. We have pretty decent documentation. I mean, nothing is ever perfect. I'm sure you will find the developers complain because, well, they will always want more, I suppose. But we help our customers with developing apps if they need one. So we give their developers support if they decide to do it themselves, or we work with a partner who can offer it. I think that hopefully answers the question. You can see nextcloud.com/developer, for instance. So our, let me see, the OneDrive integration is not ours. We support the SharePoint integration. The OneDrive, I don't think we support. We have Microsoft Office Online, Microsoft Office Server Online, something like this. There's on-premise Microsoft Office Server that is supported by us as well for our customers, but I think the OneDrive is not. But it could be. This is another service that we offer if it is necessary. We can, of course, provide support on a custom basis. We have the engineers who know the ecosystem and the technology. And honestly, we sometimes just hire the people who develop something. So authorizing integration. We have a program for our partners, but almost anyone can upload an app. There are some checks. It's a bit like the Android App Store. There are some basic checks, but Google does not guarantee any of the apps and their functionality in the App Store, except for some really bad things that they will then take out. And for us, it's the same. What our partners offer and what we offer is, of course, supported. What third parties do is up to them, but sometimes we can help. I hope that answers that question.